Did you hear about the Bayesian who built a model to tell her when she needs to go to the dentist? Well, it said she didn't need to go for 6 months, but that's probably because she just had a week prior.
But I hope you know that's going to lead the show now. Like that's going to be like,
Put it up there.
hey, welcome to the newest episode of the Superposition game show, the only game show on the internet where we bring nerds from all types and all walks of life to play fun games with me and have a good time playing some unhinged games and learning all about ourselves and the things that we are passionate about. I'm really excited to have you all here.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks, David.
Super. I'm excited to win.
Yeah, absolutely. So to introduce myself to everybody, my name is David Cohen. I am the host of the show and also the founder of Superposition, a consulting firm where we specialize in building workshops just like these ones for other consultancies that work in the data and AI space. But we're also very big advocates of showcasing and highlighting the talents and passions of different data people and AI people across our whole industry. So we're really excited to have three great people in our space today with us and playing the games. So again, thank you for coming to the show. And as we always do, would love to hear introductions from each of you. And using the traditional Superposition game show twist, would love to hear about your secret talent. So Monica, we'll start with you since you're first up on the board.
Okay, sounds good. I am Monica K. Royal. I'm the founder of Nerd Nourishment, where I offer career coaching for folks that want to transition their career from a non-traditional space into the data space. And I'm also a LinkedIn Learning instructor, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. The summertime is very fabulous. It is 90 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning, very spicy, but it makes sense because I love spicy foods. So, yes.
What's your favorite spicy food?
Favorite spicy food. That is really good question. I would say Thai food, like a noodle based or a curry. And the best when it's Thai hot. So if I'm not sweating while I'm eating it, what's the point?
Right, there you go. So a fun fact about me is that I am a horrible spicy food eater. You cannot feed me anything spicy, which is unfortunate because my wife really likes spicy food. So I'm curious to hear more about your plate spinning ability. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, plate spinning, so random. So my sister-in-law, when she was getting married, she had a party that was circus themed, and everyone had to put on like a little show, and I picked plate spinning. I don't know where I came up with that, but it sounded fun. I had no idea how to do it, and I think it was like about a month I just learned how to do it. I put together like a little routine. I don't think that I dropped the plate during the routine, which was perfect. That was like a decade ago though, so I don't know if I know how to do it again, but
I was going to put you on the spot
now I want to
and
go
make
find
you...
it and do it.
Yeah, I was going to put you on the spot and make you do it now, but we won't.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
we can. I don't mind waiting.
Right.
Yeah, you want to find a plate? We'll see. We'll test it out live.
Well, it was just like a plastic plate and a wooden stick that I got probably on Amazon. So I didn't do any like real like glass plates or anything like that. So I don't know where that plate exists right now.
No, we'll have to try it for sure.
Yes.
Sonali, what about you? So you said you're a great listener, which is true, by the way, from when I've met
Thank
with
you.
you, but would love to hear more about it and your background.
Yeah, I'm going to start with my background, then I'll go into the listener component.
Yeah.
So I currently work in the data space, a big pivoter. I studied criminal justice thinking that I was going to go be a cop or work for the FBI. Graduated, realized that's not what I want to do with my life, and somehow stumbled into data analytics. I wanted to be in HR, got a position as a HR analytics, realized that there's a combination with HR and data, and been doing that since. That was like almost 5 years ago, if not more. So currently my focus has been using data to make better talent acquisition decisions, so better hiring decisions, how we can improve our processes to make sure that we're doing the best we can. And outside of work, I love trying new hobbies. Currently, I'm trying dancing, bachata, and salsa. I cannot do salsa. It's been awful, so don't ask me. Apart from that, I love traveling too, so that's been fun. When it comes to my special talent, I've been told that someone worded it this way, and it was the most eye opening experience because I never saw myself as such. They said, you have the ability to make people feel seen and heard. And that was the first time someone described my talent. And I'm like, oh, I thought everyone did that. But I guess it's a really good talent to have and really good talent to spotlight as well.
Well, it's a very much appreciated talent. I feel like it's, like you said, not something that everybody has, and it's few and far between. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So it's a good ability. I like to use it everywhere I go.
Nice, awesome, Evan.
Yep. I'll do an intro here, but if Monica's gonna plate spin, then I think Sonali should also salsa dance.
There you go.
Okay,
We'll just do like a talent show. This is what this is turning into.
And my secret talent is speed on the water slide. Unfortunately, I won't be able to demo that. We'll have to use some real AI effects to do that here. A quick intro. I've got a background in economics, and then for about the past 7 or 8 years have been in the data science space in consulting. I work for a company now called PyMC Labs, which is a Bayesian consultancy. So if you've ever used PyMC, the Python package, and you want some help with it, we're the developers. I'm not, but I work with the smart folks that develop that tooling, and we help people do things with Bayesian statistics. But that's the day job. The night job is I do stand-up comedy, and I wasn't funny enough to be a real stand-up comic, and I wasn't a good enough data scientist to be a real data scientist, but now I do data science comedy. So for the particular types of nerds that would come on to this game show or that would watch this game show are the folks I try to make laugh with a bunch of nerdy data science and tech and AI jokes. So that's the passion. But because I'm not particularly talented, I'm just the only data comedian there is. I didn't count that as my secret talent. My secret talent is water slide racing, and as a high schooler, my high school job was a lifeguard at a water park, and you get a lot of practice off hours to go down the water slide. And if you're a teenage boy, you probably tried to just go down as fast as you can and race your friends. Picked up a few tricks, ended up getting pretty good at water slide racing, and now I live in North Carolina in like Pleasantville, suburbia, USA, in the minivan capital of the world. And the neighborhood pool has a water slide. And so mostly it's the kids that go down it, but then about 2 or 3 times a year when they bring out the stopwatches and start timing people, I go down it, and it's cool to be the old dad that beats all the kids in water slide racing. We do, but just one.
I really miss the days of like living in like suburbia sometimes, and I'm like, it's a nicer life.
It is. Pros and cons. Yeah, it's if you Google image search in suburbia or whatever, nobody uses that anymore. If you ask ChatGPT to give you a picture of suburban USA, then it might pull from my neighborhood.
And I was really excited to have all three of you on. Obviously, like you in some degree already do content in whichever form, but you all have like very, very interesting perspectives for the game show of like just like, basically being funny people that are good listeners and just share with others or super frequently. So I'm happy to have you all here.
Can we do like a segment where Evan does like stand-up comedy? Because that sounds fun.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking that we need to ad hoc, like do like a random segment here where you just each do your own talents. Like I actually need you to demonstrate your talents.
I'll tell a joke as soon as Sonali dances and Monica spins a plate.
Listen, my special talent is I will sit here and listen to you. That's it.
I feel like on the dancing front, you brought that up, Sonali. Like that's something that like people have always made fun of me for. So I'm Latino, so I wasn't born in the U.S. And you would think that would mean I'm a good dancer, but it actually means quite the opposite for me. So I'm a shame to my people, I guess.
And
It's okay. We can take classes.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know if classes would do it for me either, though.
Oof.
I think I'm just a lost cause.
I actually almost put hip hop dancing as my secret talent, but I thought plate spinning seemed more secret because I've
Oh
talked
yeah.
about my hip hop dancing
Let's
before.
let's hear about that though before we start the game. So what kind of dancing or hip hop dancing do you do?
Yeah, so in high school, I was part of the pom squad, not cheerleading, but the pom squad. So we were dancing during all of the games. And then after into college, I found a troupe. And then after I graduated, I found a couple like dance studios. One of them in particular was my favorite. We actually got gigs at basketball games. So, like the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, we danced during those games as well. So, it was super fun.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so with that, let's start the games. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Okay, perfect. So the way the games work is I'll walk you through each of the structures here. What I didn't tell you about the games is that they have a bit of a twist to each of them. So I kind of explained these to you in the walkthrough prior. But as we're going along, I'll explain what the twist is on each of them so that you stay on your toes a little bit. As we're going along, I'll keep score for each of the activities, but like I mentioned, the score is sort of made up and I decide what it is. So what you're really going for here is making me laugh, if we're being honest. You're welcome to mess with each other also, so you don't necessarily have to stick to just your square. And I would encourage you to, kind of go as crazy as you want here. This is really to showcase your personality and the things that you like and find interesting. So go as, interesting and multimedia as you want. So you can pull in pictures, you can draw things, you can pull in GIFs if you want. People have done all sorts of things. So, kind of board is yours to do whatever you want. Does that make sense? Okay, so the first activity is called Draw Your Career. So I think I explained this to you prior as well, but to kind of get you back up to speed, the game here is essentially Pictionary. So what I would like you to do is, using only drawings, explain what you do, either now or through the course of your career, and then I'm going to have each of you explain what that is after, and we'll judge who does the best job. Does that make sense?
What's our time limit?
I'm going to set a 3-minute timer for you guys to
Goodness.
draw as much as you want in each of your boxes. You ready? Okay, so in 3, 2, go ahead. Somebody had a question.
I was playing around with it, my bad.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if we're ready, I'll go ahead and set a timer, and feel free to just start drawing as much as you want on the boxes to explain what your career is. Ready? Go.
Are we talking? Do we get chatty during this?
You can chat if you want, but you don't explain it until the time ends.
Okay.
You can comment on each other's drawings if you want while they're happening.
My gosh, I just looked up
We got
the other ones.
colors.
This is
Oh, there's colors, there's all sorts of things. Please do whatever you want.
my gosh. I'm trying to utilize the things we've got here.
Here's the twist though. From now on, I only want you to draw with your non-dominant hand.
Oh.
Now on?
Mm,
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
So just to be clear, if you're right-handed, I want you drawing with your left hand and vice versa.
And you have to raise your dominant hand too, so we know you're not cheating.
Yeah, please.
Evan.
Scout's honor.
Oh.
Okay, so you're about halfway there, so please continue drawing on the boxes. Add as much detail as you want. I love the emojis. I don't even know where you got them from. I
I
just
don't
really
know
like.
either.
I drew those
Ooh.
with my non-dominant hand. They look okay.
There you go. Perfect.
Ah.
Oh my gosh. I kind of like that it's non-dominant hand. It's almost an excuse for how bad the drawing is now.
Right?
To zoom into each of these just so I can admire how beautiful they are.
I feel like I have like 3 to 4 different career pathways going on right now.
That's what I want to see, man. I love how simple yours is, Monica. It just says math on it.
That's not what it says.
That's even better. I'm realizing it says data now, so sorry about that.
No worries. I actually
you
started
do
with
the
math,
color?
and then I was like, wait, data.
Somebody did the color. Oh,
Oh Lord.
Finish up your drawings. I'll give you 5 more seconds. I promise.
Hands
This
up.
is how the show. This is how the show is supposed to go. Hands up.
didn't even have time to sabotage Monica and Somali.
Go ahead. You can still sabotage. There's no timer on sabotage. That's always
I'm
encouraged.
afraid I feel like it would be really mean.
Okay. That was amazing. Thank you guys for all the great
Oh.
drawings here. So the way this works, I'm gonna ask each of you to introduce your drawing or explain the drawing, and after you explain the whole story around it, I'll give you points based on whatever your answer was and how cool I think your answer was. So Monica, we'll start with you. Let's talk about math.
Yes. So I started with a board, like a chalkboard, and was going to write math, but then decided to write data. But there's a lot of math in data, so same thing. So you could read it either way, interpret it as you please. And then that's me, and an apple, and that signifies me being a teacher and also, a data and math professional throughout my career. Actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to become a teacher, but then was advised not to go that route because I should probably get a job that would be able to pay the bills. So I got into accounting. That wasn't right either, and somehow ended up in auditing. And auditing led me into data, data analytics, data science, etc. And so I realized as a data professional, I was always teaching others and kind of like describing, what I was doing and helping others be awesome. And so throughout my whole career, I have always been a teacher. So it kind of like loops back to my childhood career, which is pretty awesome. So living out my childhood dreams.
That's amazing, and I feel like most people don't get to experience their childhood dreams in that way, and it's fun that you found a way to do that.
And look how
Awesome.
happy she is. She has a big,
Yes.
big smile.
Yeah.
Look how happy the smiley face. I'm just gonna zoom in real quick. See, incredible, amazing.
green eyes?
I think that deserves 100 points. I
I
think.
do.
Wait, Monica, do you have
They're
green
hazel.
eyes?
They're hazel. So like sorta. Yeah.
I
couldn't
love the
find them.
details that you added. That's why.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Amazing.
tried
So
to
you get
distract
100
away
points,
from
Monica.
like my
Incredible.
terrible drawing and just made it colorful.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It looks just like you.
It really is incredible that you could very honestly interpret that word as math or data. It's great.
In my
Very
defense,
intentional.
yeah, in my defense, it looks like math.
Yeah,
Like I'm
I see
not crazy.
both now.
yeah.
I saw math and then I see data and math now.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post just a picture of that. It's gonna be like the blue dress, yellow
yeah.
dress situation, and
Yes.
we're gonna
That's
tell
good.
people to interpret it.
Love
Yes.
All right, Sonali, your turn. Let's talk
Lord.
about your
it. That's
drawing.
such a good picture. It's so detailed.
Do you
Yeah,
know
wh-
what's happening?
What's happening here? There's like a sheep at the bottom left. It looks like.
Absolutely
that-
no
that was-
idea,
okay. That is
but
not a
it's
sheep.
fantastic.
I think
I
it
don't
says
even know
math.
where you're looking, but nowhere in that is a sheep.
Yes,
So I
I see
started
that
off-
as a sheep as well.
Where are we looking?
Where? I don't see a sheep.
This thing?
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
by
On the
on.
bottom left of your box, there's like a
Okay, I
little
can't
thing
wait to
with a
explain
tail.
what that actually is so we can see it's not a sheep, but okay. We'll
Okay,
start from the
there you go.
top. We'll start from the top. This is basically how I started seeing my career. I used to think a career is just a linear pathway forward. It's not. It has ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. It's like seeing my career in phases because I know there's going to be some highlights and some lowlights, which are going to, I guess, propel me forward to see where I need to pivot and which direction I need to go towards. And all of it's going to just lead to the highlight or the, oops,
Sorry, go ahead.
my North Star or a light bulb moment. I guess that's exactly what I'm aiming for. And that might change, but at the end of it, it's just going to be fun. It's going to be a fun journey. Um, on the bottom, I've kind of added things I've enjoyed or things I see myself doing in my career. It might not be a title, but it's just things I enjoy doing. This is supposed to be like a presentation or like a teaching moment. So Monica, when you said teaching, I'm like, oh, me too. That's what I put up because that was the first career I ever wanted to go into was being a teacher.
Nice.
And there's a fun story behind why that came to mind, and I can share that after I explain this. So, a teacher, and this is basically me teaching. These are the kids, not a sheep.
You think
That's
your
not supposed
students
to.
are just sheep.
Oh.
Like the children sit out. Oh my god, I feel so bad though.
Those are the seats that they're supposed to be sitting at. So we have 6 students there, and this is a big table. Maybe I should have put something on the table. That would have been helpful. But it's just supposed to be like the audience or the people who want to learn. And this is me teaching, and it goes back to making things more accessible, making knowledge more accessible. So being like the first gen thing in my family for everything, I want to make sure other people who might be walking the same path have some kind of resources that they can go to make their path a little easier. And on the bottom, this is supposed to be a smiley face because throughout of it, I just want to make sure that people I'm interacting with walk away happy after that interaction. Um, and this is my left-handed drawing of a stage. For whatever reason, I love public speaking and I see myself being on stage. I don't know what I'll be talking about or what my focus will be, but somewhere in here, this is me. These are the staircases, and this is the stage. It's there, I
Just like the
promise.
stage.
If you close your eyes and
Hey.
use your imagination, I promise it's there.
And Sonali, one thing that you mentioned earlier that you talked to me about it before too, but
Mhm.
your perspective as a first generation immigrant is really fascinating to me because I am one too.
Mhm.
So I think that obviously speaks a lot to how we think about life and our work. So I'm curious how you mentioned it some, but would love to hear more about how it affects the way that you think about your work.
I think initially starting out, and I think it affected everything, including like how I saw money, how I saw careers. It was always about work, 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 and nothing else is important, especially when you grow from a low income household too. When you move to a new country, kind of starting out with nothing, you got no money. So you're kind of watching your parents struggle. And I think with my career, it was always like, oh, you go to a college and you get a job and you get married, and that's your life. It's written for you. And that was the only pathway I knew. And I think growing up and just meeting more people outside of my bubble or my bubble, aka my parents. So growing up and just meeting more people, being exposed to so many different pathways, I believe that I needed to be in a box, like whatever I studied, so criminal justice. Knowing I didn't want to do that anymore, I thought I had to still find a career in that path until I met more people who made pivots into different careers, and you meet people who are musicians and in working in the data space. I'm thinking of Chris. Um, just you can do whatever you want as long as you're willing to meet more people and learn the new pathway that you want to go into. And I could go on a whole tangent, but I don't want to go into too many details. That might be like an hour segue.
No, don't worry. There's more games for you to go into those tangents too, so
Perfect.
plenty of time left. So I feel like, the inspirational message deserves a couple extra points. So we'll do 150 points here for you.
Perfect. Perfect. Can I share a story of why I thought I was going to be a teacher?
Go ahead.
I was a kid in India, and there's usually have you ever heard of people coming around reading your palms to tell your future? So we had one of those people who came around, and then my mom and I were outside, and they're like, "Oh, you want your daughter's hand to be, read?" And they're like, "Okay, sure. We don't believe it, but sure, go for it." And the guy read my hand. He's like, "She's gonna be a teacher one day." And that's how I came up with my first career aspiration to be a teacher. I'm like, I can do that. Why not?
And here we are. So it worked out, right? Perfect.
Exactly. He was right.
All right, I'm not saying you have a lot to live up to in these first two, Evan, but let's talk about yours and hear about it.
This
And
is
see.
yeah, I'm already intimidated. There's like symbolism and meaning, and mine's pretty like brute force. But also, Sonali just gave me a really good idea. I've got young kids. I'm gonna hire somebody to say they're a palm reader, and then just at one day say, "Oh, you're gonna be a doctor. You're gonna be an engineer," like whatever I decide that I want them to be. We'll just hire the palm reader to tell them that that's what they're gonna be.
That might work.
Okay, here we go. This one, this is me. This is a stick figure here. I don't know if I guess you can't see my mouse. The one that looks like a stick figure, not the sheep or the math. And he's got a microphone stand. It's somebody talking. He's got an audience. He's got people out there that he's talking to. And so this is sort of stand-up comedy, but I think more generally, it's I couldn't draw the stage, but this is me on the stage with an audience. There's nothing I like more than an audience and the folks that are out there, three of them are laughing. They find my jokes hilarious. This is sort of the ideal of the career. And then one of them is mind blown. I taught them something, and it maybe it's even the same content that made some people laugh. It made some people like, wow, this is thoughtful. This is thought provoking. And my visual aid behind me. Do you want to take guesses on what I've written there?
It looks
Habibi.
like it looks like a correlation sort of like formula thing.
Oh,
Like,
like A/B testing.
yeah.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay, we're close. We're close there. I can read it perfectly clear. It's just a conditional probability. It's probability of A given B. I was going to write out Bayes' theorem, but I think that would be too
So
complicated.
you just triggered like this memory of my econometrics class where I'm like thinking about this and I just like have this weird memory that, oh my God, no, it's crazy.
Sorry. I want you to be the laughing guy, not the uh-oh, I have to think guy. This is just okay. So I've got this nerdy math content behind me, like statistics and math are my world, but I'm not the one writing it and making fancy things. I'm the one that's talking about it and trying to share it with folks, hopefully in a way that makes them laugh. And I'm on a water slide.
I was
At the
gonna
same time,
say, I thought this was you water sliding. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. You can water slide on stage while you're telling jokes and explaining statistics. That's my career.
so
I
I'm
would love.
curious, did you ever think about going into traditional stand-up before you started doing this as well, or?
That was really not a driver. I've done one open mic before in college with no prep, just with buddies that happened to be out at a free show one time. It went disastrously. I hated it. I didn't have any idea that I would do stand-up comedy again. And then I sort of backed my way. I'll tell the story just quickly. Um, it was it was data science first and then the comedy. And I had colleagues that were presenting at a stats conference, and it was right at COVID, and the conference decided they would go totally virtual, and they put out a call for papers for like stats in pop culture. So if you could have artwork, maybe you could submit some of these drawings, or if you have like poetry or a joke or anything like that. So I submitted a joke, a stats joke that I made up, and it won first place. My boss often asked me if anybody else even submitted a joke, uh, but he laughs at it. So what is he talking about? But that was sort of the initial spark that's like, oh, I can make people laugh with statistics. And then when I won a small cash prize, which made me a professional statistics comedian, which means I told that joke all the time, everywhere that I could. And you tell a few jokes, it makes you want to tell a few more, and it picked up a little momentum.
And I feel like what you mentioned it earlier too, but one thing that people really underestimate about comedy, like even just normal comedy, is that comedians they like impose a message in the comedy itself. Like there's like something they're trying to tell you beyond just making you laugh. And that's a really powerful tool for education as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the I think this picture, like I tried to make it like my ideal case is teaching and laughing all together. And so yeah,
So what's the joke that you're telling here?
we can edit this part out if nobody laughs, right?
Sure.
Did you hear about the Bayesian who built a model to tell her when she needs to go to the dentist? Well, it said she didn't need to go for 6 months, but that's probably because she just had a week prior.
But I hope you know that's going to lead the show now. Like that's going to be the
Put it up there. Everybody that I've met for longer than 30 seconds, I've told that joke to in the past 5 years. So that's okay. Put it out there.
So I feel like you put yourself out there and you tried to go with the joke. So I'm going to give you 250 points for that, Evan. That requires courage, and I appreciate it. All right, so let's move on to the next activity. Thank you all for looking at or for going through the drawings. I really appreciate the amount of detail there. Are we ready for the second game? Okay, so the second game is called Truths, Lies, and Statistics. So you played a version of this game, I'm sure, before, and playing two truths and a lie. So you'll notice that there's 3 red stickies in your box. So what I'd like you to do is, without telling us which one is which, to write down 2 things that are true about your background and 1 thing that is not true about your background. And we will guess after the fact which of those they are. So just basically take a minute or 2. I'll set another timer just like we did the first time. And write down in the boxes in no particular order 2 things that are 2 things that are correct about your background, personal or professional, and 1 thing that is a lie. Does that make sense?
And we can use the text thing. I'm not trying to draw this with my left hand.
Correct. You can just type it. Just double click on the sticky and type it. You don't have to actually draw anything this time. No pressure. All right, go ahead. Okay. You have about a minute left. Go ahead and continue working through it. Okay, you guys actually got through this pretty quickly. We're all good?
Ready?
Okay, so what I'd like to do is for each of you, want to have you essentially explain what they are. And after you explain, the other 2 people will guess which ones are incorrect and which ones are not. So the way we're going to do this is you're going to vote for the one that you think is the lie. The trick of this game is that I will also get to vote for what I think is the lie out of your answers. And if you match me, then you get more points. However, if I get it right and you don't, then you lose points. Does that make sense? And even more pressure for whoever the person explaining their truths and lies are, you also lose points if everybody guesses your answer correct. So you have to be good at lying here. The upside of it is if nobody gets your lie, you get more points as well. So, Monica, are you ready to talk about yours?
Okay. I found out I was ambidextrous in my 20s. I must drink 2 cups of coffee every morning. And my very first job was selling vacuums door to door.
Okay, so Sonali and Evan, what I want you to do is drag the sticky with your name on it on the top, the black one, and move your name to whichever one you think is incorrect.
Thinking. I feel like
I
that's
really want the
right.
vacuum thing to be true.
I have a feeling it has to be something else that you were selling, not vacuums, for whatever reason.
All right, Monica, which one was incorrect?
Which one was incorrect?
Yes.
Was David got it right. I can only have one cup of coffee in the very morning, and it has to be very low in the caffeine. I actually have like an opposite reaction to caffeine where it makes me sleepy. So it's more of a habit of just having that drink in the morning to get me going.
So not that the coffee thing is not interesting, but I actually want to hear about the vacuum salesman bit. Like you were an honest to God vacuum salesperson that went door to door.
So there is a little disclaimer here that I want to talk about being a career coach. And I do want to say that it is okay to quit a job before you have started it. So with with this, yes, I was offered a job and I was selling, or I was going to sell vacuums door to door. Yes, I'm aging myself. There these vacuums still exist though. They're Kirby vacuums. Have you ever heard of Kirby vacuums? Okay, so
Don't
I'll
try
put
to
a
sell
picture
us
of it on
on them,
the.
Monica.
I'll just have to edit
yeah.
a picture of it on the video.
Exactly. There was this thing. This was my very first job that I was trying to get. I don't even know how I stumbled on it, but it sounded, easy enough, I suppose. We went through training, and it was like day one where we were separating into teams to then start going door to door to sell these vacuums. And I don't know what it was, but the vibes just seemed really off when we were like separating into these teams. And then I had to get into this like unmarked white van to go around door to door to sell these, I'm sure it did say Kirby on the side. I'm just being silly, but I don't know, just like I said, the vibes were off and I just didn't feel comfortable, so I quit.
So not a single vacuum was sold.
Not a single vacuum was sold, which yes, I was not good at that job. But during training, we did learn how to use the vacuum because it was our intention to go door to door and to go inside of people's houses and to vacuum their houses, right? Another reason why the vibe was just off. That's just weird. And
So hold on, they expected you to go inside somebody's house and be like, "Here I come with my vacuum. I'm gonna vacuum your house," and like, so you should buy it.
yeah, you've seen those infomercials where you have like a carpet and you like dump some dirt on the
Yeah.
carpet and you vacuum it up. It was kind of like that.
I don't know if that would sell me on the vacuum. If you're like, I'm gonna come in your house and dump some dirt inside your rug, and then like I'm gonna vacuum it in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Just clean up all the dirt that's already there. You come on in.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But I have to say the vacuum was pretty neat. I'm not sure how Kirby's doing as, a vacuum nowadays, but it was a pretty neat vacuum back then.
Okay, well, so as far as the game goes, you got Sonali and Evan to guess wrong, so you get a lot of points here, Monica.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you 250 points for this. And then unfortunately, for the other two, that means that you lose
No,
points as well.
stop.
Sorry.
Oh,
Rules are
Doesn't even
rules.
count as a job. She didn't even sell a vacuum.
this is
Come
true.
on.
This is true.
Okay. We'll deduct some points because you sold no vacuum. Sorry,
Okay.
Monica.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, Sonali, your turn.
Okay. So, I'm the first person in my family to run/own a business ever. Second one is I'm afraid of heights, yet I went ziplining by myself to try to overcome my fear. I can speak 3 to 4 languages. It's like
Okay.
3.5. That's why I'm saying 3 to
Yeah,
4.
3.5
So
languages. There you go.
ish, yeah.
So,
Is that
all right.
because
So
you're not
Monica
fluent
and
in the
Evan.
Are you
I'm
not
gonna move the
fluent in the
stickies
fourth?
down. Feel free to guess
Evan, say it
again.
again. I can't hear you. Hold
Is
on.
it because you're not fluent in the fourth, or because you only consider it half a language?
How about I explain it after you guys
Okay,
guess which
okay,
one's
okay.
false?
Okay.
There you go. So go ahead and guess. Hmm. I feel like I have to guess something that you guys don't guess. So, continue taking points away from you. I don't, there's something about like the 3 to 4 languages thing that is like non-specific enough that it might be a lie. But go ahead,
Well, she
Sonali.
started explaining it, so that's why it threw me off. But maybe she's throwing us off on purpose. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
That
Go
is the
ahead.
job, right?
Which,
So, looks like Evan got it right. I'm not the first person to ever try or even run a business in my family. My dad used to own his own store back home in India. So not the first person to ever try it. Um, I am afraid of heights, terrified of heights. But before starting my last new job, I told myself that I was going to do something I've never done before. And I got a nose piercing. And then that weekend, I went ziplining because it happened to be near me. I'm like, let's go try it. And yeah, it was a very different experience because I could not feel my legs because that's how terrified I was. But you can't stand there because you're by yourself. No one's encouraging you. And then there's people lining up behind you. So you already have pressure and you have to go. So it didn't work. I'm still afraid of heights. And then the 3 to 4 languages. I grew up in India, so I learned Punjabi and Hindi. Punjabi being my state language, Hindi unofficial country's language, you can say, or North Indian language, and then English. The four-ish is Urdu, which is spoken mostly in Pakistan, which used to be one country. But Urdu and Hindi overlaps because they're derived from a similar language called Sanskrit. I can't speak Sanskrit, but that's why I can talk to someone who's speaking Urdu in Hindi, but we can both understand each other. That's why I said 3 to 4 languages.
yeah, I think it works a lot of the same way for me with like Portuguese.
Mm.
For example, like similar dynamic of like, it's not like I can talk to them or write in Portuguese, but I can understand what they're saying more or less. So I'm curious for the people in your family that have run a business before. So any lessons that you learned from your family as they had that experience, even in a different cultural context?
Um, I think more so, I don't know if it would be considered like any experiences. Um, because I was a kid when my dad owned a business, so I used to just go relieve him so he can go grab lunch. So I used to just sit as the owner of, and then I was used to watch employees and then the customers who were coming in, making sure everyone's doing their job. Apart from that, one lesson that my dad taught me was, we live in a digital space. Everyone may have similar ideas that you might be trying to execute on. So went to my dad. I'm like, I had this idea and I'm already seeing someone else working on it. Now I don't know what to do. And then he's like, one thing, a big shark will always eat the small shark. So you have to make sure, even if you're a small shark, that you're good at what you're doing. So if it's not good and if it's not the best, there's no point of pouring into it because you're not pouring everything that you got in it. So don't waste your time. So that's a lesson that my dad taught me.
Very wise.
Very.
Awesome. So Evan, you did get the answer correct, so I do have to give you points here. Give you 200 points because the points don't make any more sense, and so I'm just making them up at this point. And then Sonali, you also got mostly everybody to get it wrong, and I feel like I have to give you points for trying out a big fear of yours. So I'll give you 100 points as well. Monica, unfortunately, do have to take more points away from you. You just keep going backwards.
That's okay. I also congratulate
Wait.
Sonali for doing the zip lining. Like that's so good to like you did that on your own and yeah. Are you obsessed with zip lining? The first time I zip lined, I was like, okay, I'm doing this everywhere I go now.
Well, I don't think I ever went back.
So
She's like,
I
never
tried
again.
I tried indoor ziplining with friends the second time, and that was the last time I remember going. And I think that was more terrifying for some reason.
Okay, so
David,
go ahead. Sorry, you have a question.
can I question why you gave me 100 points? Only 100 points?
Okay, fine. We'll give you an extra 100 points because you complained about it.
Thank you.
I can be bribed. So, for the record, Evan, your turn. Let's talk about yours.
Yeah. I flunked out of college the first try and later completed
Okay.
it. I used to work as my official title, I was banana humper, and I won an award in college for the funniest film at a campus movie fest.
I like that you clarified that your title was Banana Humper.
I mean,
I
that's what
appreciate
this is
that.
a descriptive title too. I can further explain once we find out
No,
which is true and
we
which is
are
a lie.
definitely going to talk about it. Let me tell you. So, Monica and Sonali, grab your sticky. Uh, and then here, I'll put it down there so you can grab it, Sonali. And then I will grab one too. Whoops. Okay, go ahead and guess. Which one is incorrect? I just want the banana humper thing to be correct. I'm sorry.
No, me too.
Okay, Evan, which one is incorrect?
Okay, I did not flunk out of college the first try. Sorry, David. It was
Did you
close.
flunk out of college at all, or was that just
No,
like,
no, it was close. I was on academic probation for a while and then righted the ship and everything was good. No, I did
okay,
not
so
flunk out of
let's talk about
college.
the banana thing, please.
Yep. So for for my 21st birthday, my parents said they would get me a round trip flight to anywhere that I wanted. So I looked at the most expensive round trip flight that you could get. And I went to Australia for a summer when I was 21 and they bought the flight there, but I had precious little money to get around or do anything. So I sort of worked on various farms and traveled around. And one of the farms I worked on was a banana farm. It was great. The experience was really good. Um, and there's some jobs that are just bizarre. And the bananas grow so fast there, even in their like slower season, that the fastest way to harvest, the easiest way for them to harvest is to cut down the banana tree and there's one person whose job is to slice the tree in the way that it falls at the right space and can keep growing and will produce more fruit in a few weeks. And there's one person whose job is to run and catch the giant bunch of bananas that's falling out of the tree, and that's a banana humper, is what they call it. And so I was a banana humper for about a month there, and it's fun. It get crashed, knocked over by big banana trees every once in a while. You see spiders that you don't want to know what they're called crawl out from this giant bunch of bananas in northern Australia. But banana humper's a good job.
What a wild story. That's
I
insane.
know. Fascinating.
So let's also hear about this college award.
Yeah, I actually thought of it just when I mentioned that I did stand up one time in college and thought, well, I didn't really start any comedy until, recently a few years ago. But I did. There's a campus movie festival, and a couple of buddies and I submitted or made a film. Um, for a couple of years, but the first year we did it, we won the award for the funniest movie at the film festival. It's called Lecture Crashers. It was a parody on Wedding Crashers, where we just go and crash various lectures and make fools out of ourselves, and thought it was just an absolute riot. And I guess other college kids did too, because we won funniest film. I think we were the only one that would probably submitted a comment, something that was trying to be funny, but I'll take the award.
I'm gonna request that whenever I post this, that you post a clip of Lecture Crashers if you
All
have
right.
it.
Yep. I can dig up a link for sure.
Is it on YouTube?
It was 20 years ago. YouTube's probably
You're
not
like,
even 20
they
years
still
ago.
have it.
It was 50. Yeah, let's see. Almost certainly it is.
Okay. Well, in that case, so I guess I'm the only one that technically got this one right, correct?
Uh, yes. David
Okay, so
wins.
you know the deal. Monica and Sonali. Evan wins points. He's winning, so not saying anything, but we gotta pick it up, and then you guys each lose slightly points. So I'm sorry, Monica. This isn't going great, man. You keep losing points.
Yeah.
This game is rigged.
We
I'm
all
It
just
really
saying.
is. It really is extremely rigged. Okay, bonus round. You guys get to guess which ones are true and false for me. So take a look at these real quick. We don't even have to vote. Just tell me which one do you think is correct. I'll give you points if you guess the right one. I'm sorry, which one is not incorrect? Sorry.
I don't think you used to be able to speak Chinese. You can speak Chinese. It's valuable. You keep it up. You could still speak. I think that one's false.
It's good. That's possible. I still have a feeling that's the one that's a lie.
Yes, yeah, sorry, that's the one I'm saying is a lie. I used to be able to
Okay,
speak.
okay, okay.
I think that's the
Yeah,
lie.
he thinks that I used or did not used to be able to speak Chinese. All right. So that's Evan. Sonali, which one's yours?
I'm gonna go with the Chinese one too.
Okay, Monica.
I
Wait,
can
no.
see you being a mathlete, but for some reason, I don't think that's true.
Okay, you're actually all incorrect. So the only incorrect one is that I have not traveled to every continent. I did used to be able to speak Chinese, and I did leave it. To your point, I probably shouldn't have. And I was a mathlete in high school. I did number sense, if you guys know what that is. So imagine like the most insane arithmetic test where you get to answer like 80 crazy arithmetic questions over 10 minutes, and you're supposed to be able to answer what like 35 times 52 is without using a calculator. And you're supposed to compete against others as a speed test, and it's the nerdiest thing you've ever thought about, but I did do that. So,
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Nice.
but yeah, unfortunately not every continent yet. So, none of you get bonus points for this. I'm sorry.
Where or how many continents are missing, or is that just a total farce? You've
Good
only
question. I haven't been to Africa yet, and I haven't been to. I guess does Australia count?
well,
So no
I
Australia.
believe so.
Yeah. So those are the only ones. I've been to every other continent besides that. Okay. So let's
Okay.
do the final activity now. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this final game is called Committing to the Bit. So the point of the show or the activity here is that here at the Superposition game show, we are really big fans of just committing to the bit in everything that we do. And obviously, you want to talk about the things that you guys are passionate about and your inspirations in doing the work that you do. So in the red sticky, what I'd like you to do is talk about what inspires you to do your work and in your life to be able to go to or do the things that you do to the fullest. So that can be a person, it can be an experience, it can be a thing. We've hinted at it in some of the other activities, but would like you to kind of touch on, as I said, the things that inspire you and what makes you fully commit to the things that you're able to do today in your job. And if you want to put pictures or anything on the right side to reference to that, you get extra points as well. So I'll set a timer for 2 minutes, and you can start typing the things that inspire you, and then we'll talk about them. So go ahead. And there'll be music playing here in the actual recording. I just, copyrighted music I can't play. Okay, you have about a minute left, so please continue adding any items that you may want to. And Monica, remember, you also type in whatever inspires you. It doesn't just have to be a picture. But I like the picture, though. Nardwar. What a great answer. I wish I had the interviewing skills that Nardwar has, by the way.
Me too.
That is like a major, major inspiration. I wish Nardwar had a LinkedIn page. That way I could make you tag him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you have about 10 seconds.
I feel extremely guilty not knowing Nardwar.
Oh, you'll hear about it in a second. He's very interesting. Monica, as usual, you're first.
Okay, so Nardwar is a Canadian journalist and musician. Not so known for his musician, but he had a garage rock band called the Evaporators, like way back before most of us were born. Um, but he is a fantastic journalist and interviewer. And so he goes and interviews famous people, other musicians, celebrities, etc. And I just think that not only is he a good interviewer, but his research skills is what inspires me the most, because he grabs facts about people and he'll ask the guests these questions and they're like, how did you know that? Right? So the level of research that this guy gets into is very inspirational. So that's Nardwar. Hans Rosling is a Swedish professor, and he's who got me really inspired with data analytics. Particularly, he has this YouTube video called like 200 Countries in 200 Years, where it's this very animated video of him going through this timeline, and it's a data visualization, and the way that he's presenting it and the storytelling abilities, and he gets so enthusiastic, very dramatic in the way that he's like presenting this animated data visualization. I'm just like, this looks interesting. I need to get into data analytics someday. And so he's my work related inspiration. And then just in general, nature. I love going on hikes, not in the summer when it's 90 degrees at 9 a.m., but just in general, the sunsets in Arizona, which is that picture, just so amazing to kind of get out and just, enjoy nature and the things, listen to the things that are around you.
And look at this beautiful sunset.
Yes. No
Amazing.
filters there.
I love it. So there's a running joke that Nardwar is in the CIA because he has the answer to like everybody's, like basically he knows everything about everybody's life. It's crazy. You should go watch some TikTok videos on him at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So Sonali, let's talk about yours.
Oh, so what inspires me in like 3 different buckets: my family, my friends, and just being able to build a better version of myself. So more about collecting experiences and new memories to just figure out what I like, what I don't like, and try to not replicate, but multiply those experiences, the ones that I enjoy. And lately it's been traveling. So being able to see different places, meet different people. And I think traveling has been one of the things that has allowed me to be me outside of who I am to someone else. So outside of being a daughter to my parents, outside of being an employee to my employer, traveling has been who's Sonali, and I get to meet her every time I'm just away from everything. And my family, as in like my parents, I've seen them come from nothing and being able to build a life and always do things for others. My mom specifically has taught me the importance of looking after yourself. And I think we grew up in a culture where women are not prioritizing looking out after themselves. It's more of like a second thought. So I think she's always tried to get me to do that for myself first before I just keep pouring into other people. And my dad, as you heard his advice earlier, he's just like my rock. I can go to him for everything and anything. And he's the person that I would go to when I'm falling apart. So I appreciate him for that. And my friends, I think all of them just teach me different things. And one of them being, I've come across a couple of my friends who just love traveling, and they've taught me learning how to prioritize myself. And that's where traveling ties back to for me as well.
That's a very nice way of tying
And other
all
things.
circle there.
Yeah.
No, but I love the travel perspective. So, obviously as a frequent traveler myself, I think that the biggest lesson you learn while traveling is like sort of who you are in relation to everybody else. And that's very extremely valuable life lesson for sure.
Definitely encourage people to try it. And I think my favorite part has been coming across strangers and being able to make friends at like different places in the world. That's the most fun part.
Absolutely. Okay, so Evan, your last one up. So what do you have to say?
I am inspired by the stand-up economist, and this is a specific person. It's Uram Bauman, and it's more than just him as a person. I've never even met him in person. We've had a few phone calls, um, but I'll sort of walk through his. He's a PhD economist, and he's authored books, and he does real economics work. But he's found that he's quite funny, and he does stand-up comedy, and he also has young children, and so he's been an inspiration to me to be able to sort of blend the I have a real job and I want to be productive and proud of the like actual, scientific endeavors that I do, but I want to have fun with it and I want to tell jokes. And the 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 problem with success in comedy is the better you get, the more you have to travel and be away from family. And like that was a big point of talking, like how do you balance these things? And it's great. There's not 50 different places that he's going to go to every year to do stand-up economics comedy. There's a handful, and that's much easier to balance. And so just sort of that career path to be able to, have a flexible job that you can do and also be able to make fun of it, telling jokes, a dozen or 2 dozen times per year and not make it take you on the road away from your family all the time, is big inspiration to me. So it's just sort of that idea and that balancing and that lifestyle is what I've tried to do now that I've gotten more and more into comedy. And those people, they're representative of my family.
Love it. I
We
feel
look
like.
not we look nothing like that, but I don't want to put my kids' pictures on
What do you mean? I thought this was a picture of you guys.
there.
I know, I could see it.
Yes.
There's a resemblance.
Yeah. AI generated maybe. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I think, obviously there's a lot of really amazing things that inspire all of us and in different ways. It's really cool to see how like even despite us having different influences and things, like we all very clearly care about similar things working in the same area and it's one of the things I like about bringing our community together is that you get to see how despite us being in different places and having different influences, we all sort of share those same things. So thank you all for sharing those.
What's yours? I thought you were
So
gonna
I
go
guess
after.
for me, like thank you for asking. But like for me, the biggest or influence and like inspiration is just taking risks to some degree of, the a lot of the work that we do in data is it tends to be very isolated and sort of very by the book. And I feel that for all of us here, we've all taken risks of some kind to put ourselves out there and generate our own content, try to like share with others the things that we think are cool. And I really appreciate when people take that step of like, I'm going to take a chance to show people who I am and what I care about. And so I really have an appreciation for anybody that does content, not just on LinkedIn, but on any platform really, of being the one that takes a step to put yourself out there and just take a chance and let people make fun of you and not worry about it, right? Because you care about what you do and you're passionate about it. So hopefully that makes sense.
It does. Thanks.
Yeah, so the trick or the twist for this activity is that you guys actually get to pick the winner. So instead of me judging whatever score it is for each of these, I want you to volunteer or to decide amongst yourselves who wins and gets the points for this one. The second twist here is that you'll get way more points than in the previous activities, so it's actually going to likely decide the winner. So I'll let you fight amongst yourselves.
I think I should probably win. My answer was just the best, and I'm already in first place. I know what it's like to be in first. Like, I can't imagine it being Monica or Sonali. Is that right? We agree?
I
all
mean,
this
look
time
at
I'm
that
just
Arizona sunset, though. Like,
I think the sunset was pretty nice.
It was. I mean, but you can see mine from the plane though. I feel like that's pretty close.
oh,
I feel like I shouldn't
yes.
have made you guys. You guys are just gonna vote for yourselves. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
vote for the
Honestly,
sunset. I'm
but
sorry.
which
I
one?
think the sunset wins just because it's real nice. So Monica, you are the winner of this activity and you get the most points here. Sorry, everybody. So we'll
This whole
do.
time I was just waiting that Evan's internet is gonna go out. Sorry, but I was praying. It hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't. No, he's locked in. So
I
Monica,
live
you
in
are the winner of the activity and as a result, the winner of the game show today. So
Oh, goodness.
congratulations.
come from behind.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Arizona
so much.
sunset.
You know, it was looking a little rocky there for a bit while you
It
were going
was.
backwards,
I was
but you made it
scared.
work.
I was nervous.
Awesome. So the way this works, as far as winning the game show goes, is that obviously all of you are winners in my mind. Thank you for coming on the show and for taking the chance to do this. Um, the each of you will get a minute now to talk about, or you, Sonali, and you, Evan, will get a minute to talk about anything that you want. And then Monica, you'll get a couple more minutes to talk about some project that you have. It can be anything personal, it can be anything professional. It also doesn't have to be a project. This is really your time to talk about literally anything that you have in your mind. So Sonali, we'll start with you. What do you want to talk about for your minute?
Oof. I was gonna think about it, but I think the first thing that comes to mind, and it's lately been on my mind and in my content, has been dealing with burnout. And one of the things that I came to realization over and over again, I just refuse to learn my lesson, is to not just pour into one bucket of your life area. And I think I over poured into the career, professional bucket. That's something I still care about. But I just ignored every other bucket in my life. That means hobbies, my family, my friends, all of that kind of became like a second priority, and myself. And lately, that's been on my mind is how I can pour into the things that actually bring me joy and dedicate time towards intentional time towards those activities. So that's why the dancing came into play. That's something I've been doing every single week. And just again drawing out intentional time to do things that bring me joy, and a lot of it has to do with shutting my phone off and getting rid of apps off off my phone so I'm not just mindlessly scrolling, and also trying, this is something I need to do better job at, is rebuilding my relationship with God, like just spiritual relationship. That's something I've been slacking at too. um, yeah, and just more movement. Doesn't matter in what form, just doesn't have to be always in the gym, and just going on walks and talking to strangers.
Evan?
It's
I think, Sonali, if that would have been your answer to what inspires you, maybe I would have voted for it. That was great. Yeah, I would. So study after study after study shows that the people who listen to fake mock news have a better grasp of world events than people who listen to actual news. So like Daily Show listeners score better on current event quizzes than, Fox or CNN or MSNBC listeners. And that's because the power of comedy to stick in our minds and help things resonate with us. And so this year I've been much more deliberate about trying to do more data science comedy at conferences for corporate data science teams or for university programs. And so there's predictablejokes.com is the website, and you can go on there and find some clips. You can go on there and ask for availability. And I don't do that many shows, but if the timing works out, I would love to come tell some data analytics techie jokes for you and your team and help them retain a little bit of that data science knowledge in a fun way that they'll enjoy.
Awesome. I really appreciate that, Evan. And last but not least, our winner, Monica.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. This was so fun. Um, what do I want to talk about? There's so many people out there that are doing these inspirational things, and I feel that it's so nerve-wracking to get out there and share what you're working on with others. And so I just want to say, like, don't be afraid to share what you're working on. Something that I talk to a lot of my mentees about is to um build in public. So when you're working on something, like, just share what you're working on even if it's not finished. That way you get some feedback. Maybe you can even work collaboratively with others on a certain project, and just, putting yourself out there and sharing what you're passionate about um, is, do it scared. Elise Myers talks about that. It is going to be scary, but being nervous and being excited about something actually has that same neurological like whatever that's called, it affects your brain in the same way. So just when you're nervous about something, pretend that you are excited about it and you'll be able to get it done. Yes, I love that.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you all for participating in the game show. For everybody in the audience, if you ever want to participate in the games, if you want to do it scared and you want to be part of the experience of kind of talking about your career, if you're in the data and AI space and want to highlight the things that you're passionate about, we are always looking for more participants, so would love to have you on the show. And if you want to learn more about the work that we do at Superposition and the workshops that we build just like this one, always feel free to reach out and learn more about the, how we build these in a more professional setting, I suppose. Monica, Evan, Sonali, wonderful to have you. Thank you all for participating once again. And congrats, Monica, on winning the show. And join us next time. We'll be back soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's been fun.
Thank you, guys.